Nuts. It's me, Jack, live from the Monkey House, wishing you a belated Happy New Year. Much belated. I mean, it's practically next year already. On today's show, we are setting impossible resolutions. What does that mean? Well, okay, just walk with me here in my logical game. Okay, step one, each new year, people seem to always get in this habit of setting a resolution, like a goal they have for the year. And that's a great idea. You want to set some goals to achieve. Who doesn't want to set goals? Trouble is, if you set your sights too high, you might pick a goal that's downright impossible to keep. And then, if you don't achieve it, you're going to feel really sad at the end of the year. So here's my idea. Still think high. Set a goal that's really, really high. I mean, so high that it's impossible to achieve this goal, but do it knowing that it's impossible. So that way, when you don't achieve it, you'll be successful, right? If you set a goal that you know you can't keep, when you don't keep it, you'll be like, see, I told you, it was impossible. Let's meet our next impossible resolver now and find out the promise they definitely do not intend to keep here in this new year. Give it up, me monkey nuts, for Calvin. It's Calvin!
Hello.
Hello, Calvin in Massachusetts. How's everything going so far this year?
Good.
Great. I'm really glad you're here in the Monkey House. Are you having a happy new year so far?
The best year yet.
That's what I just said. Oh, great. We're on the same team. You know, some people run around yelling, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And sometimes I just want to be stubborn and say, well, maybe I'm going to make it a sad new year. But I can never hold to that. I want to make it a happy new year. I'm glad you're here. So tell us, Calvin, what impossible resolution are you setting for this year?
Eat more vegetables.
Oh, okay. I see. Interesting. Are there any particular veggies that you find particularly hard to eat, or just all of them?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Okay, interesting. I think it was. I mean, I'm really going back in time now. Earlier on today's show, I was talking about phone books and realized that our pint-sized caller, Audrey in Maryland, had never heard of a phone book before. Have you ever heard of a phone book before, Calvin?
No.
No, okay. Well, I guess I have to do it again. Okay, I want you to imagine this. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, and even earlier than that, if you wanted to know someone's phone number, the telephone company would deliver an enormous book to your doorstep, like every year or every 6 months. Like a really thick book, like 5 inches thick. And every single person's name and phone number was in that book. So if you wanted to call your friend and you didn't know their number, you would have to search their name alphabetically, find it. There might be several people with the same name, and then you would have to try each number until you found the right person, and that's how you would know their number. Maybe you would like circle it or highlight it so you could find it again the next time. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true.
Really big book.
Seriously big book. I mean, it wasn't everyone in the world. That would be a much bigger book. But it was everyone, like, in whatever town or city you lived in. So if you lived in, like, a really big city, you might actually have 2 phone books. Like, the first one is letters A through L, and the second one is letters M through Z. And that didn't even include all the businesses. They were in something called the Yellow Pages, which was a totally different book. You would search by category, like you need your muffler repaired, so you'd go to automobile repair, and then you'd have to start searching, and you'd find them there in the Yellow Pages. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But I was going to say, this is not at all related to that, but another ancient artifact from my childhood. I remember when the first President Bush was president in the late 1980s to 1990s, he said something about how he didn't like broccoli. And all of the broccoli growers in the United States were, like, really angry because they're like, wait, what? Come on. What do you mean you don't like broccoli? And they staged a protest and brought a dump truck full of broccoli to the White House and just dumped a big pile of broccoli on the lawn of the White House. Isn't that also wild?
Yes.
Yeah, that really happened, I think. At least that's what I remember. We should fact check that. If anyone could fact check that, I'm willing to be fact checked if that is factually inaccurate. But it goes to show, A, history was a wild time, and B, Calvin, you've got to be really careful about saying you don't like broccoli, because the broccoli growers of America might dump a whole bunch on your lawn.
Okay.
So just be really careful. But that being said, why don't you like broccoli?
It's too green.
Oh, you hear that, broccoli growers? He thinks it's too green. What else do you not like about broccoli, Calvin?
It doesn't taste that good.
You hear that, broccoli growers? It's too green and it doesn't taste very good. Oh, they got your number now, Calvin. They're coming for you. Okay, so your impossible goal for this year is to eat more broccoli, and you know that this will never happen.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, what would it take for me to cajole you into eating a plate of broccoli? Like, what kind of deal would it take?
You give me $1 billion.
$1 billion? Yeah, that's not going to happen. You're right. It's impossible. Okay, what will you be eating instead of broccoli this year then, Calvin?
Corn.
Corn. Oh, okay, so corn is a vegetable, I think, or is technically corn a fruit? It always gets a little murky there. Is it a vegetable?
I think so.
But I mean, it's like with the juice. It changes your life the minute you have it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about that juice. Totally. Well, audience, Calvin set an impossible resolution. Broccoli? No, thank you. But corn, yes, please.